Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about my TBR for the Tome Topple Readathon. For those who don't know, the Tome Topple Readathon is a readathon where the goal is to read as many books over 500 pages as you can. And they do also give you a list of prompts, and for each prompt that you hit, you get a point. And for the number of points you get, that's what level you reach. So if you do 1 to 3 prompts, that's student level, 4 to 6 is scholar, and 7 to 9 is sage. And like a crazy person, I've decided to do as many prompts as I can. So without further ado, let's jump right into the books that I plan to read for the Tome Topple Readathon. So the first book that I plan to read is Test of the Road by Rachel Hartman. It is 524 pages long. I started it yesterday and I am about 86 pages in and I am loving it so far. So I didn't realize that this is a spin-off series, I guess, set in the same world as the author's first duology, the Serafina duology. And so there are references, what I assume to be references to what happened in the other 2 books that I don't get, but I still am quite enjoying this book. It's about the protagonist of the other series, her younger half-sister Tess. And basically, Tess is going through a really hard time. She's done something really horrible that her family just won't forgive her for and won't let go. And so they decide to send her to a convent. And from the flap, it says that on the day that she is going to be sent to the convent, she decides to take a different path and she doesn't really know where she's going. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. I haven't quite that far into the story, but it is good and it's very well written. And this book is going to cover 2 prompts. The first prompt is read 1 tome, and the second is read a tome from a series. And this is the first book in what will be a duology. So the second book that I'm going to be reading for this readathon is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I know nothing about Mistborn. I guess it's a very famous fantasy book. I've been told that it's a scenario where the bad guy won. I'm really, really, really excited to read this. And this book will also cover 2 prompts. The first prompt is tome from a genre you don't usually read. I have never, I think, read an adult high fantasy novel, so I am really excited, but also really intimidated. And the second prompt that this book covers is read an adult tome. This book is 657 pages, so it is definitely a tome. The next book on my TBR is Winter's Tale by Mark Helprin. It is 748 pages long. I don't know much about this one either. I've had it on my TBR for a long time. If you can't tell by the cover, I bought this when the movie came out. It's, I think, magical. I think it's supposed to be magical realism. There's romance in it and a white horse. Other than that, I'm not really sure, but I am excited. This book covers 2 prompts. All of my books cover 2 prompts. This covers the book on my TBR with the most pages and the tome on my TBR that has been on my TBR the longest. And the final book on my TBR for the Tome Topple Readathon is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This book is technically cheating as it's 479 pages long. However, it does have a reader's guide, which I always read, which would put it at over 500 pages. And also, the co-hosts for the Tome Topple Readathon did curate a list for the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month prompt, which is another prompt that you can do. And this was on that list. So I think I can read it. I don't think it's cheating. Again, I don't know much about this one, but I am really excited to read it. I've heard a lot of good things. I think it's an epic about a family in Korea. Other than that, I don't know much about it, but again, I hear really good things. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading for the Tome Topple Readathon. Realistically, I'll probably only read 1 or 2, but hopefully, maybe, I'll be able to read all 4 and reach the level of sage. So thank you so much for clicking on this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.